Phat Tony.
What's good, y'all? Happy holidays. It's your boy Fast Life Boss Blacc from the Fast Life Clique. Hey, today we got a special holiday edition of the new Mexicated Smoke Session interview series. Tonight I'm in the studio with the one and the only Phat Tony.
Gucci.
What's good, bro? How you doing, man?
Hey,
welcome
chilling.
to the motherfucking Smoke
Thank
Session.
you. You guys are so welcome, man. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Mexicated for having me. It's gonna be fun.
It's an honor, man. You damn right, man. Hey, I've been looking forward to this interview since it was announced that we was gonna do it, man.
Hell yeah.
So shit, man, no further ado, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you originally from?
Born and raised here in Las Cruces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where did the name Phat Tony come from?
So back in the day, this is kind of crazy, like, and it's weird how like people are like talking about like the bullying era now, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Back in the day, like when you were growing up being a fat kid, you were bullied for being a fat kid.
Yes,
like,
indeed.
People would always be like, get out of here, fat boy, what are you doing? You know, like, and it was just always, it used to hurt me. Well, finally in like 6th grade, I was just like, you know what? I'm fat. Say something else. And it just kind of turned into that. And I like, so from like all through school, it was like Phat Tony. Like people knew me as Phat Tony because I was like, yeah, I'm fat. Like, think of something else to say. Like, everybody said, oh, cool, I'm fat. And then you would say that to the kid who was making fun of you, and then he would just be like, You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a twist on people, like, messing with me, so.
Definitely.
You know? Like, to quote Lauryn Hill, you got to develop that negative into a positive picture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to turn a negative into a positive and take away the power from certain shit, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's the big thing right there, take away the power.
Yes sir, hell yeah. So, how long you been DJing?
I've been DJing professionally for about 8, actually, Black Friday will be 9 years.
Okay. We got a DJ birthday.
Yeah. All right.
So, I mean, you say Black Friday is your DJ birthday, so tell us the story, like how'd you start DJing? What made you choose to DJ?
Yeah, so like growing up, my dad was a DJ.
Oh shit, okay.
And he was like, he was just like a wedding DJ or like whatever, but he used to do it like with records and like have 2 tape decks over here and like all kinds of, you know, crazy shit. DJ, so growing up, I was just like chilling, and he'd be like filling up the fog machine, he'd be like doing his thing, and I'd be like up there like kicking it on the decks, and it was like, this was, man, way back in the day, and I always kind of liked it, and I was in band, I was in marching band. Going in high school and middle school and everything, and this is kind of just like where it led me. You know what I mean? Like music, I've always been like a big fan of music, and I've always been the kid walking around high school with his headphones on anyways, so I was listening to all this shit coming out, like, it was just kind of a, that's just where I'm at now, you know what I mean? DJing professionally, I just like picked it up on Black Friday one day. I was like, yo, I bet you I could do this. Like, shout out DJ Blacc, because I was hearing him on the radio one time, and Johnny Cage, local radio DJs out here, and they inspired me to be like, yo, like I think I could do this. Like I know I like this song and I like this song and this already in my playlist, but these guys are playing it on the radio. Like, what's the difference? And I kind of started from there, but I started like in the rave scene, which is weird.
Okay. Shout out to the rave scene, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to the rave scene. Was it here in New Mexico? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really, really crazy. Shout out to the New Mexico rave scene.
Y'all are crazy, for real.
I know that shit crazy.
Yeah,
oh my motherfucking God.
So.
Oh man. So you started out, what kind of music did you start out listening to and gravitating towards? Was it always EDM?
It was, so like growing up, like I said, my dad was a DJ, so he always had to play like the freshest records. He always had to play everything. So I grew up listening to like the 70s funk, like the 80s, like hip hop, the 80s funk, like pop music, you know what I mean? Like the breaks, the freestyle, like just different shit like that, because he always had to be on it.
Right.
And like when, this was like back, fuck, I'm not sure how old I am right now. This was like back when you could burn CDs. my favorite thing to do would be burn people's CDs of like all the dopest songs on there, you know?
Okay, yeah, I used to burn CDs too, man. I used to have a gateway computer, dog.
Hell yeah. And so, you know, I was always burning people's CDs, and even on the band trip, like everybody was like trying to figure out what they're bringing on the trip, and I was always the one who had my boombox. Like I had extra batteries, I had, you know, like we had the jams on that bus. My bus was always lit, and everybody wanted to be on my bus, like. And so since I figured like I grew up doing that shit, like it just kind of, I don't know. I listen to the music that's out, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like specific to anything. I grew up loving hip hop. Like hip hop is, that was like my first love. You know what I mean? So,
yes sir, yes sir.
It just kind of, that was the music to me that like first connected. There's all this music out there, and you know, like my mom used to listen to like country and like cumbias and like different like shit like that. But like to me, the first music that hit me was like hip hop.
Okay. Yes sir. Yes sir.
Like,
sure.
I don't know. I could relate to that. I could relate to the shit that they were saying. Being cold, being hungry, being scared, like doing what the fuck you gotta do. Like that just made me feel like I wasn't alone, you know. And I think that's like when I found that music was like what I fucking love, you know.
Yes sir. Yes sir. So what school did you go to, and what instrument did you play in the band?
So I went to Camino Real Middle School.
Okay.
And I started off playing bass clarinet.
All right. All right. All right.
In a weird turn of events, right? I was allergic to the reeds.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird as fuck, right? So, I still wanted to be in band, and so they switched me over to a brass instrument. So then I ended up playing trombone.
Okay.
So I played trombone from 7th grade all the way to high school.
Okay.
And I marched in marching band with trombone. But then I would just like, I'd mess around with like the other instruments. Like I wouldn't say that I was like good at all of them, but I could like play a little bit of trumpet, I could play a little bit of baritone, like I could play a little bit of tuba, like trombone, like mainly brass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I grew up loving that shit.
Okay, cool, cool. I used to play the baritone.
Yeah?
So I know about the brass as well. I couldn't afford to play trombone like to rent or buy the trombone.
Yeah.
They had hella baritones, so they gave me one, you feel me?
Yeah.
So shout out to the band.
For real.
You know, music is life. I think music is like money. It's a universal language, you know what I'm saying? Like it go beyond. So shout out to the band. I think we should keep motherfucking band in school.
Straight up, man. We need more motherfuckers learning music, like, and to me, like my mom, cause it wasn't like the most hood neighborhood, but we didn't grow up in like the best part of town either, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like just general, like, I mean, shit happened. My mom wanted to keep us out of that shit, so like, to me, she put me in like fucking every activity I could be in, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
that's good.
Just to keep me out of trouble, and that's good. So like, marching band was like 7 in the morning, then you went to school, and then I was in ROTC after that.
Damn, okay.
So I was there like all day, like just focusing on all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I first came here, when I first moved to New Mexico, I had heard you on the radio. That's how I heard the name Phat Tony. I believe it was DJ Blacc as well.
Yeah.
And I would also see DJ at Q-Time, but my first memories are, you know, of you and hearing about you was on the radio. So just tell us a little bit of how you got started in the radio and what happened with the whole radio thing. I see that you're no longer on the radio, so could you just, you know, just give us a brief rundown about that whole situation?
Yeah, like, and then this will kind of tie into like another thing that we'll be talking about a little bit later too, but the radio, growing up, like that's what I bumped. That's what everybody has in their whip. Everybody got the radio. Everybody's listening to the radio. Back in the day, like when you wanted to hear a song, you called and requested the radio. It's not like these kids right now, you could pull up YouTube and here's my favorite song right now, boom. Fuck that, you had to wait all day and maybe they played it and you got to record like a piece of it on the tape. You always missed the first couple of bars because you couldn't hit record fast enough. Like,
I definitely remember those days. Yeah.
That's the radio to me. Like that's what I remember. And those DJs had all the power because whatever they played is what you listened to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I always saw like the artists and things like that, but I always knew that the DJs were the ones who had the power. You know what I'm saying? Because the artist can be the hottest artist ever, But like, if the DJs aren't coming together and spinning any of your shit, then nobody's gonna hear it, and that's what gives you a bigger audience, a wider spread, like to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like not completely, because the artists, like, not to take away anything at all from the artists, because they all have their own shine, they all have like their own fan base, their own things. But like, you hear new music through a DJ of some sort, giving that to the masses.
Yes, the DJ definitely is an important piece of getting there to the next level, definitely. Just the source.
And so I always grew up listening to the radio, wanted to be on it, and then there wasn't even any openings. And so I was just like kicking it with everybody, with like all the DJs. And DJ Amir, he's a DJ who used to DJ here a while ago. He put me on because he had ties. He had a show called Stuff You Don't Hear on the Radio. And since I was already like in the rave scene and shit, like that was an opportunity for me to play the shit that you don't hear on the radio. That, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same remixes kinda, but like it's just pumped up. Like,
right.
So we did that little show, and they liked me. And then they did a pajama jam, and they invited me to be on there. And it was like a gang of local DJs in their pajamas, chilling in the studios, mixing live on air all night. It was Thanksgiving. Shit. Everything happened around like this time. This is crazy how this is all coming together. Fuck. It's like barely.
You're just reflecting on your career and stuff. I mean? That's good. Like, that's good. I'm glad that you can capture this moment right now.
But it was around that time, and I had went to lunch with the program, or we went to go get some fries after at International Delights with Damien, who was the program director at the time. And
shout out to Damien.
Shout out Damien. Love you, bro. Then, so I was telling Damien when we were at International Delights, like, yo, what do I gotta do to be on the radio? I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll go in there, clean toilets in this motherfucker. Like, I'll throw the trash. I'll fucking clean the toilets. Let me, like, fire your janitor. I'll be there. If anything goes out, I'll be there to fucking fix it. I'll, like, this is my passion. Like, music is my passion. I've had headphones 80% of my life on my fucking ears. Like, that's just, like, fuck. To me, like, there was always comfort in that. You know what I'm saying? So, back to, like, how I got on the radio, Damien was like, okay, we'll give you a shot. There might be a part-time position, but you won't be, like, you won't have a show. You'll just be, like, behind the scenes, being a board op, pushing buttons for the fucking Aggie games and shit. I was like, yes, anything. So they brought me in, and then it was just, like, right place, right time after that. Because DJ Blacc had left, and then there happened to be an opening, and I was already there. And it was just like, because he left to go, I think he went to Colorado. He was doing like some big ass shit out there.
Yeah.
So he was getting it out there. So you know what I mean? Like, so he left Crucis, and that left that void open, and I kind of like just stepped up, and it literally like right place, right time. And what's really cool is that I took that nighttime show from what it was rated to about like almost 10 times the ratings, like what they are, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely did your thing, man. Like I said, that's how I remembered you, man. Like, already on the radio, So to have you here is just an honor, man. You've already accomplished so much in your career, man. So, that's an amazing accomplishment, I feel like, as a DJ.
Yeah,
definitely. You should definitely be proud of. I mean, the community fuck with you off of that alone.
Yeah, shout out to the city of Las Cruces. They voted me #1 DJ 3 years in a row, and I got that from my rookie year to all the way till I didn't get it the 4th year because they eliminated that category on the Sun News that year. That's the only reason, like, or not whatever, but like, so that's why it didn't happen the 4th time. But all 3 times where I was eligible for it, I did get it, and shout out to the city, man. Like, and everybody who like fucks with me and listens to me. Like, I have nothing without people who support me, because like, if people don't hit play, like, the fuck, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's the viewers, the people who listen, the people who watch, like, that have made me be able to be here.
I agree. I definitely feel you. Phat Tony, man. I see you no longer with the radio, and made a couple of announcements. I've been following you for a little while, and it basically seems like now we have you now from Phat Tony, the radio personality and DJ, to Phat Tony, the artist and producer. Can you tell us a little bit about like your transition from maybe, let's say, a DJ to an artist, and just a little bit about what you got going on right now?
I mean, I think it was kind of always in me. I was like composing songs in band, like writing out the sheet music, just because we would fuck around. And I was like, on trombone one night, I was like playing the fucking Oompa Loompa song, and I was like, if I teach it to all the homies and we play it as a prank, like we could fucking fuck with everybody, and then there ain't shit they could do. The whole Low Brass is playing the Oompa Loompa theme song in the middle of a fucking football game. Like, what are you gonna do? So like I would just like as a joke, like I would fucking write out sheet music for everybody, and I'd be like, all right, fucking everybody, boom, 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 here it is, fucking here's the sheet, and I would just put it on paper, and I just handed it to the homies as notes, and we would be like, this is our secret music. So I kind of always have done that, you know what I mean? Like, okay, oh fuck, it went out. And I think like from being somebody who's like heard everything on the radio, like what hits, you know, playing and the people were dancing to in the club, like. You know, if you hear some shit in the club, you're like, oh, that shit bangs. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, if most people know, like, okay, Big Bank's about to come on. If you hear Big Bank's gonna come on, everybody's gonna be dancing and vibing because that's everybody's shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, shout out YG. But if that shit comes on, like, that's just, like, kind of like the knowledge, you know what I mean? And since I've been able to see the charts, like, with the radio, it was easy for me to kind of go as the artist, as also, like, composing music as, like, you know, a kid. So it's cool because now I still talk shit, but just in a different platform. You know what I mean? And I still like tell stories, just in a different thing. And the transition to the artist part has been different. It's been cool, but it's really kind of given me like an ability to kind of express myself in a different way. Because at the end of the day, I was always playing other people's music. At the end of the day, that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like I'm spinning other people's records. Homeboy's getting royalties off the spins on the radio. Not me. I'm getting my radio check from the regular dude. I don't get shit for spinning that. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. Then I started thinking like, well, why can't I be the motherfucker who's getting the spins? You know what I mean? Like, you start thinking this, and people don't think like, oh, you get 3 cents a spin or like 0.03 cents a play on Spotify or like however it breaks down. You know what I mean? But that shit adds the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting my first royalty check in the mail, and that's the craziest feeling in the world, dog. Like, from some shit that I just, like, put together, from some shit that I wrote, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So, being an EDM DJ, would you, well, let's back up. Would you classify yourself as an EDM DJ? What kind of...
I'm a DJ who spins good music, man. If it bangs and people like to dance to it, then we could get it. Like, there's no... I mean, I've played some country shit like maybe once or twice, but usually I don't fuck with country. Like, you know, nothing wrong with country. To me, I can't relate the way I can with other music. You know what I mean? Like, nothing wrong with them. Shout out to the people doing their country shit, but that's just not me. And so everything else, like, I don't know how to classify myself. And that's the thing about, like, my album coming out, is I don't know how to even classify that. I think we have 4 dubstep songs, 3 mumbaton songs, 2 reggaeton songs, 3 hip-hop songs, a trap song, and a cumbia.
Wow.
So
I'm looking forward to hearing this album, man. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I guess, like, one of my biggest inspirations was, like, this DJ's name was Girl Talk.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of Girl Talk. Like, he's just this, like, fucking 5'7" white dude with a fucking laptop, and he just, like, takes samples that's just, like, a piece of this song. He'll take like the drums from Spodioti, and then he'll like cross over to like vocals of some other shit, and he'll bring in like Donna Summer, and then he'll bring in some it's fucking crazy, like some Cyndi Lauper beat over it, and then like Nirvana's coming in. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So like he was somebody I look up to, like, and then like DJ AM was like definitely like one of my biggest inspirations.
Okay,
like,
rest in peace to DJ.
Yeah, rest in peace DJ AM, man. Like, especially him like being a bigger dude, like understanding like when he blew up, like he was a bigger guy, and then like when he like blew up, like he had went through that surgery and he like got skinny and that shit changed his life, and he changed Vegas, and he changed the way the DJs get paid forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. I'm from Las Vegas originally, so shout out to Vegas.
Yeah, shout out Vegas.
The electronic scene is a different scene out there. Like you said, DJ AM definitely changed the game, and it's a lot of good DJs coming out in Vegas.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, just hearing the way that people would do that and break down music, and I was just like, whoa, you could do that? And that's like what I do in the clubs now. That's what I try to do to people. And like, I don't mix, like, the reason my shit sounds so good in the club when I'm fucking with people is because, like, yes, I have all the bangers laid out, but in the playlist I've also organized every song by key.
Okay.
So now every song that I'm mixing is mixed in key, and we're from there, like if I'm gonna change keys, we're going in the circle of fifths.
Okay.
So everything is musically correct to the ear. So not only am I beat matching as a DJ, I'm key matching, so everything is like so fluid that all of a sudden out of nowhere you're just like, what the fuck, this bass just came in, fucking, like, here comes another song, you know what I mean? And then he's just like, boom, the drop of it, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck, like, how did that happen? Like, that's the coolest part about it, is manipulating music. And I felt like, since I knew how to do that, since I knew how to make motherfuckers dance, like, I know how to make a beat. And I think, like, that's why I'm pumped for this shit to come out, like this album, because it's just like, it's not just one thing, you know. It's called Mixed Emotions, like.
Oh shit. Okay.
So it's okay, and it's for like a bunch of different reasons, but you know, that was like, to me, that fit everything, like, that I've been going through, like in my personal life, in my career, and like being an artist, being a DJ, like all of that. Just Mixed Emotions was like the best way to put it.
So Mixed Emotions coming out
4/20, 2019. Obvious reasons. You know what I mean? You know, New Mexicated. Shout out New Mexicated.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So while we on the subject of New Mexicated, man, can we get a weed story, man?
Speaking of 420, right? I bet. So,
yeah.
I don't know if my mom's gonna see this, but whatever. Sorry, Mom. Like, she probably doesn't know that this is what happened that day. What? It's kind of like low-key fucked up too, especially like. Here's a disclaimer for anybody who's like sensitive about like fucking. But like, this is not the fucking story for you. Like, this is some real shit. Like, so it was like it was the day of the Columbine shootings, and I was in middle school. But we didn't know that, right? Like, so we get to the bus stop, and my homeboy Jono, he's like, "It's 420, man. I got a joint. Like, let's fucking spark it up." And I was like, "I don't know, dude. Fuck it." Boom. So we fucking sparked up at the bus stop.
Nigga didn't think that long.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah. I was like, whatever. So like, we smoked. I was like, fuck it, it's 420, right? Like, you know, and we're all fucking happy. Like, yeah, okay, cool. So we like get on the bus, laughing like fuck. Like, we all ate our lunch before we got to school, all fucked up, like, you know, just laughing like fuck. And then like we pull up to the school, and like everybody is crying, and we're like, what the fuck? We're like, damn, they know we smoked. And like, that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, everybody knows that we smoke, man. Like, I shouldn't have smoked. Like, everybody fucking knows. But not, like, what had happened was, that was the day of the Columbine shootings. And so, like, nothing, like, no school shooting like that had ever happened before. Like, you know, it was horrible. Like, you know, prayers to those families still, like, even all this time. Like, but during that time, there was no drills in the schools for an active shooter. They didn't have a situation like they do now. Like, what they had was this drill called the Red Bus Has Arrived that those motherfuckers made up that day. But we were so high that we didn't know what the fuck. Like, like they'd explain to us, like, okay, if you hear on the intercom the Red Bus has arrived, get under your desk, turn off the lights, because there's somebody in this motherfucker with a gun who's coming to kill you. So we're like, I bet. That's all we need to know. Red Bus has arrived. Get the fuck under your desk. You're good. Cool. But we didn't know that they were doing a drill of it. So they were like testing it out before, you know what I mean? Like, but we were kind of high, and we forgot that they said like this was going to be a test. So we were just chilling, doing our schoolwork. Then all of a sudden, the Red Bus has arrived. We're like, fuck, it's happening. Motherfucker's in here with a gun. He's ready to kill us. It's fucking going down. Turn off the lights, get the fuck under the desk. And fucking me being a big dude, like, I barely fit under the desk. I'm like, I'm dying first, I'm dying first, I'm dying first. Like, I thought I was fucking dead, dog. And then They're like, it's just a drill. Like, even right now, look, it's giving me chills. Like, fuck.
Damn, that's funny, bro.
And then so, they're like, it's just a drill, it's just a drill. But at that time, like, we were already, like, so high, like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. So we were all crying, and, like, fucking, they took us to the counselor, like, me and my homies. And they were like, they called our parents. They were like, they're really shooken up about the school shootings, and it's just been like a really rough day for them, and if they could just go home for the rest of the day, it'd be better for them. My mom took me home with my grandma. She took me to McDonald's. We fucking went to eat and just kicked it, but like, she's gonna be pissed if that's the reason why they picked me up that day. But it's because we smoked weed, like, and it just so happened to be on a fucked up day to do it because like, we weren't all there, is like to know what the fuck was going on and like what was reality and what we were tripping on and like. We didn't know how long it was, like what, like, that shit was fucked up, but, yeah, that was the first time I ever smoked.
Life is every bit the same.
And then, you know, homie asked me the next day, he's like, you want to try it again? And I was like,
good things happen when you smoke weed.
You know, like, I'd already had that little bit of fuck it in me, like, once you hit weed once, you're like, man, I don't, you know, whatever. It's not that big a deal.
What's your favorite type of snacks to eat when you high?
Ooh, the oatmeal cream pies. Those are good. Fucking Uncrustables, those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. When I'm on tour, those are on my rider. Like real shit. Like that has to be on backstage on my shit when I'm on stage. Like I need some fucking Uncrustables back there. Like
okay.
fucking.
It's the Phat Tony survival kit.
For real.
What else is in the Phat Tony survival kit?
Peanut butter and jelly for sure. Tortillas.
Okay.
You could always eat tortillas with whatever.
Okay. What kind of tortilla, man, are you? Flour or corn?
I'm a real Mexican, so corn.
Okay.
Like corn over everything. Like flour tortillas are good or whatever, but like I'm just used to like fucking, you know, my grandma like or my tia or like my mom or whatever. Like growing up, like they would always just like keep warming up tortillas and you just have a fucking big thing and whatever you're eating. Like there's tortillas. Like
red or green chip.
It depends. Usually green.
Green?
Yeah.
Okay. Beef or chicken enchiladas?
Beef, but green.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna make y'all some enchiladas.
Okay.
That's gonna fuck your world up.
Okay.
So what I do is I make green enchiladas, but instead of chicken, I throw beef in there. Because I was just like, well, I like green enchiladas, but I like the beef that the red has. Like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna put that in there, and it works.
Sure. These emotions. These emotions coming out. 420, man. 420. This nigga is a real. This nigga's a real composer and all things. Even composing
remix everything else. You know what I mean?
Yes,
shit.
Sir.
Might as well remix the enchiladas. Like, what's up?
Yes, sir. So, what's your favorite local restaurant around town to eat at?
Ooh. This is tough because there's a bunch of them, but my favorites would probably have to be like the local food trucks. Like, shout out to the local food trucks. Especially like that one on Loman by the Circle K, like Taqueria Chavez.
Okay.
If y'all have never had those carne asada tacos or those tacos al pastor or their steak quesadilla, fuck, that's Fat Boy approved. Like, tell Phat Tony sent you for that shit. Like,
no doubt.
Flame.
No doubt.
There or another. Las Trancas. That's probably like one of my favorite Mexican restaurants in town is Las Trancas.
Okay.
That's on Solano. You ever been there?
You know what? I have. I fuck with the caldo there.
Yeah.
I fuck with the caldo there. I love Mexican food, my nigga, but I just like to eat at the crib, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they got that menudo, bro.
Menudo or pozole?
Yeah.
You a menudo fan? I don't fuck with menudo, man. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I like them both, but if I gotta choose, like I'm gonna go with pozole. But if I do pozole, I like to put cabbage in it. You ever do that?
Cabbage and pozole?
Yeah, like
yeah.
Chop that shit up, throw that shit in there,
yes.
fucking limes, all that shit.
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah.
That's the way to eat it. That's my favorite shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, I fuck with that shit, man. So the holidays are coming up, man. Are you a big holiday guy?
Yeah, like yes and no. I mean, I was like growing up, and now they're like we're kind of all older. Like my family's kind of spread out. You know what I mean? Like they're all like with their significant others, like their families doing their own thing, and so like yeah, I like them, but I don't know. I'm not really going ham this year or nothing.
Okay. Well, we do got popping this fucking Electronic Wednesday.
Yeah, Electronic
Speak
Wednesday.
on that a little bit, man.
Yeah, so that's something that's really, really cool. It's like the start of a big movement of supporting local producers out here, local DJs, like just people who are putting in work. And tonight is about showcasing like a lot of original music that these cats wrote, including myself.
Okay.
And we're gonna be showcasing a bunch of different DJs. Like we're gonna bring in some cats from El Paso. Excuse me, just kind of throw it down, have some fun, and it's just kind of like the roots of why we started DJing, for the love of music. We're gonna be playing that music that the DJs fell in love with, like, and we're not gonna be using any laptops to DJ.
Okay.
Which is cool because it's, you know, a lot of these, like, nowadays you go everywhere, you see a DJ with a laptop, like, you know, cool, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not those DJs who's ever gonna be like, you gotta use turntables, you gotta use this, you're not a real DJ, like. Fuck that. That's just something that old school DJs say to get their dick hard. So they like,
yeah, you know? No, yeah, it's different ways to do that.
Okay, have you ever went to a club and that's just popping and you're like, this DJ's not playing on turntables. Let's go. I don't think I've ever said that. Like, if it's jumping, it's jumping. You could be playing on fucking 2 iPhones. I don't give a shit. If you're popping, like, whew, let's get it. You know what I mean? Like, so, that, I don't know. DJs shouldn't, like, stunt like that, I think.
Where's Electronic Wednesdays held at?
Electronic Wednesdays is at Lavish, Lavish Ultra Lounge, 201 East University. You can go there. It's going to be every Wednesday. We're going to be featuring all kinds of different DJs. We're going to be all kinds of different styles. You know what I mean? Like tonight, I'm showcasing Mumbaton that not only that I wrote, but that kind of like inspired me to like the genre as a whole. Anyways.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a lot of like Mumbaton older stuff that I started listening to, kind of like artists like Munchie, of course, Munchie, however you, wherever part of the world you're from, some people say it differently, and then Spider Tech, Males, Ratero, Los Excel, who else, Los Delincuentes, just a bunch of like random stuff, etc., like dope people who've kind of been like in the underground game for a minute. I'm gonna be playing a lot of them tonight, just to kind of pay homage to like the people who, Dave Nada, of course, Dave Nada, the king of Mumbaton, like, just to kind of pay homage to like the people who inspired me, you know. So yeah, it's gonna be different, and then like different people are gonna be headlining every night. So it's not gonna be me headlining every night. We're gonna be rotating different cats out. Because we want to give everybody a chance to shine. We want to give everybody a chance to show their music. We're like, in the club, in the regular club, I can't be playing that on a Saturday night when it's just like, play some Cardi B, and then here comes my shit, like, boom, 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 boom. Motherfuckers are like, come on, like, you know, so it's just an opportunity for different music, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. We, here at Mexicated, we also are putting on a platform for artists in the Southwest region and from the state of New Mexico, so we definitely understand what you're trying to do, and we appreciate you. And if you're an electronic DJ and you want to be featured or showcased at Electronic Wednesdays at Lavish, hit us up. Hit up Phat Tony if you got any, you know, music that want to be showcased, or you know, you think you got it. Your man's putting on a platform for you, man. There's no excuses, man. Reach out, for real.
But I will say this. Just because you're my homeboy doesn't mean that like I'm gonna play your shit. Like, I fuck with people's shit who bang, and if it doesn't bang, as a homie, I'll tell them, yo, I don't really fuck with this, maybe you should change this up. Yo, these hi-hats are stupid dumb high, like, you might want to do something about that, like, you know what I mean? Like, just to look out, because I don't want somebody to stop me from putting out some bunk ass shit, right? Like, because I don't want nobody telling me like, oh, that bangs, and here it is, like, it's, no, like. So to me, like, yes, I encourage people and producers and people coming up. I'm not gonna act like I'm all high and mighty and know everything, but from my knowledge, from like hearing like thousands of records over my radio career and like thousands of records over my DJ in the club's career, you know, I can kind of tell like the difference between like main sound and things like that, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I'm here to help. Like, that's not. I don't want people to be like if I tell somebody like I can't play this record and I tell them why, I don't want them to be like, man, fuck Phat Tony, dog. I sent him my shit. He just up for man, fuck that fool. Like, no, like I'll tell you like why. You know what I mean? Like, send it back. Like, let's work together. Like, and I'm not even saying that my shit's perfect. I'm just saying from what I've heard. Like, but music's a little bit touchy. People are way different with it. Because if you tell somebody like who might have put his heart and soul into this track, that it's not really that banging, homie. Like,
shit hurt him.
That shit, yeah, it hurt real quick. All of a sudden he starts talking to you like, "Here his ex right now. You asked him for $100. Like, what the fuck?
Shit
Like,
hurt him.
Mo fucking quit change ass, you know? So that's just kind of one of those things that, like, I don't know. Like, I'm here to help. Like, I'm not, because you know, there's different styles. Like, there's many different styles of music. You know what I mean? Like, and because I've loved so many different styles, like I have like a knowledge of like different music. You know what I mean? So it's cool to like put that to use and put that together.
Yeah, indeed. Along with the album Mixed Emotions, you say you had a tour plan. When is the tour gonna be?
So initially it was gonna start off like in November, like this week. But I didn't raise enough money to be real, so we pushed the first leg back. So that's gonna be right before the album drops in like March, April. So we're only doing like 6 cities. It's not gonna be nothing like crazy. Mainly in Texas. You know,
Where at?
just Austin, Dallas. I'm still working on El Paso. I'm gonna see about Houston, which I'm pretty sure we're pretty close on Houston.
Okay.
And then San Antonio, and I think I'm gonna try to do Odessa, like Midland area. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nobody goes out there. Nobody fucks with them. There ain't shit to do. So I figure like, if we throw something out there, we can fuck with people out there. You know what I mean? Like,
no doubt, man. Gotta show love, and you know, before we had you come in, we did a little bit of research and a little bit of behind the scenes questions and stuff, and we talked about bipolar and mental illness. Being an artist, like someone that people look to or people know. Like you've been Las Cruces' best DJ 3 years in a row. Like, you're a public figure. Tell us a little bit about the day-to-day balance and the struggles, or just
just like how it is about that.
Yeah, just tell me how you cope, and what do you have to say to people that struggle with bipolar, that's maybe they're not aware they have bipolar, or they do have it, they don't know, like just
I mean, the biggest thing I guess would be that you're not any different. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that was like the hardest thing, because everybody's watching. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, there's all this pressure on you, because I felt like, especially being at the radio, like you had to be a certain way, like you had to be a certain thing, and like because I want to help the Boys and Girls Club so much, like I have to pertain a certain image to certain things, and it's just like it shouldn't be that way. Like, I should be able to like help these kids whether I medicate or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, being in the radio, there's so many restrictions on me of like what I could be. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's more freeing now, like that it's out there, I guess. So there's not as much pressure. But I guess like the way that I like deal with it is just you have to face it. Like, that's the hardest thing. Like, I got diagnosed by like 3 different doctors. They were like, oh, yep. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I was like, no, I'm tripping. I'm not fucking bipolar. Like, y'all are stupid. You know what I mean? But then like, finally I accepted it, and I started like doing the medication and like doing different things. And now what really helped me, like the best way that I cope with it, is CBD oil.
Okay.
And I currently only take 1 medication instead of 3 that I was on. So I only take 1 medication now and my CBD oil, and that helps me with like everything, like being more chill.
Do you feel like that is do you feel like being bipolar is an advantage, that you have as an artist?
Sometimes, I mean, like, for real, sometimes I don't sleep, like I could be manic for some fucking days and just like,
wow,
I'm just like cool, and I'll sleep for like 40 minutes, take a little nap, and I'll wake up and I'm like, alright, well, let's fucking get back to it. So it's as an artist, you know, it does have its like positives, I guess. Like instead of just sitting there watching Hulu all day, like work on another song, you know, work on some shit, like watch a YouTube video on like how to do this or like whatever. So it has its advantages, and I think like being bipolar, like you just feel more. You know what I mean? Like usually, like your highs are high, like your highs are higher and your lows are lower. Like you feel the same, but just like extreme levels. You know what I'm saying? And as an artist, sometimes like it's kind of fucked up because you gotta like rip your fucking heart open and like write what's in your heart and soul like into your music while you're doing that. And sometimes I feel like being bipolar gives me the advantage because I can really get into like the core of like how fucked up that feels. And I think that's why like with the album coming out, like people can kind of relate to that because it's just like when I'm like everybody has their phone on them all the time. You know what I mean? So like when I was feeling low, like I would just like write how I felt. When I was feeling high, I would write how I feel. Just everything. I've just been like writing for like a couple of months now, honestly. Like just my day to day. Just my notepad is stupid filled. I bought more iCloud storage for my notepad. Like, and I think it just like it definitely helps the creativity. It definitely helps like because to me sometimes like the best shit I've ever come up with is like at 3, 4 in the morning when I'm like fucking zoned out, like burning one by myself, just like fuck, like I can't even think, and then I just like hit the keyboard and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck, and I'm like, oh, like here we go, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just how it happens. Like I don't, you can't force that shit. Like it just you feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So do you feel like social media and your so to say public status has helped other people maybe deal with, you know, having bipolarism or, you know, other issues and it ain't helping?
I've definitely had a few people already reach out to me, like since I kind of said, like, you know, that I am, and they've been so supportive. Like it's crazy. Like this community, like shout out again to the Las Cruces community. Like people I've never even met who were like my friends on Facebook were like hit me up, like, you know, if you ever need anything, if you need somebody to talk to or like whatever, like I'm here. It doesn't matter the time, and it's just been like the support from them has been insane. Like and other people have like went to go see a therapist or went to go like get help to see if maybe they are like, you know, what's wrong or whatever. And it's okay to feel that way. And I think that's like the biggest thing that I'm like, I want to get out there. It's like, it's okay to feel like some type of way. Like we're not all perfect, you know what I'm saying? And shit, some people are just wired differently. Like just because you have to take a pill to like fix that wire doesn't mean that, you know, like it doesn't mean the car's not gonna run the same. Like that motherfucker's still running. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like as long as you just gotta still believe in yourself. Don't let that shit hold you back. I think that's like my biggest obstacle in my music career has been myself. Real shit. So wow. If you can battle that, you good.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely are our own, you know, worst enemy or best friend, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Man, the vibe I get from you and, you know, that just what we talked about, you know, today and, you know, on the show, just a very genuine, humble guy. I said that about IBSG, but like the thing that I've got from you is, you know, no matter who you are, you know, no matter how high you know, you get, you'll always be, you know, just a regular human in that, you know, the next human being could be in your same position if they just, you know, follow their dreams. I mean, is there a message that you want to, you know, send to the fans or the people that's watching, you know, that fuck with you, man? Because I know it's a lot of people out there that's, you know, gonna tune in and listen to what you have to say, man. Is there any message that you want to, you know, give out?
Yeah, definitely. So to me, my biggest thing is it's just like, believe in yourself, man. Like there was a point in my life where I wasn't doing too good and I was like into the drugs and into like the wrong scene, you know what I'm saying? And when I took a step back and I realized like what was important to me, I was able to like do some crazy shit in my career. And just because I'm bipolar doesn't mean that I can't do what I still love. And anybody out there who has like any sort of mental illness, just because you feel some type of way, that shouldn't prevent you from being the best you know what I mean? Like, just embrace you. Like, I say Phat Tony. Like, most people remember my name because they get to call a fat motherfucker fat. everybody's so sensitive these days that they're like, oh, I didn't mean it like. And when I do like weddings and shit, because it's PHAT now, you know what I mean, like for corporate reasons, so I can get fucking better gigs. But you know, it's just like people will trip out. They're like, oh, well, you're not even that fat. I'm like, thanks, lady, it's PHAT. Like, you bitch. Like, you know, but you know, embrace it. Embrace you. Like whatever is good about you, like hold on to that fucking thing and run with it. Cause like, check this out. I was pulling up my past shows, right? Like the shows that I've done in my career, like people I've gotten to share the stage with and open up with. The first big show I ever did was Mobb Deep. I was the DJ for, they gave me a little set too for Outpatient. He had the show there. And then so he opened up and then I was the DJ for him, did a little set. And then,
rest in peace to Prodigy too, by
definitely,
the way.
rest in peace to Prodigy. After that was DMX. I was the DJ for Word One. We did 9 cities together on that tour in Texas.
Wow.
After that, from that tour, they called me back to go with Currency. We did, at the drive-in tour, we did 6 cities together.
Oh, wow.
And then from there, that's when I started crossing over to the electronic music instead of like the hip-hop. Opened up for Kennedy Jones, for Hero Bust, for Die Antwoord, for Russ, for Snails, for Kaizo, for Khalid on his Location tour, for Young M.A., 21 Savage, Dioro, Borgor, Wolfgang Gartner, Bro Hug, Joe Fletcher, Gorilla Zoe out at Lavish, shout out Lavish. And none of that would have been possible if I didn't believe in myself. If the whole time, if I would have let those motherfuckers who were saying like, what are you gonna do, fat boy? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, this is what's gonna happen. And to me, like, this is the biggest message. Like, anybody who's ever been bullying you, or like talking shit, or then like trying to hold you down, like, show them with success. Don't talk shit, be about it. You know, there's so many people talking shit on social media these days. There's so many people saying that they got it like this, that it's like this, that it's this. Don't. Like, just be about it. To me, I've always thought, like, if you got it, you don't have to talk about it. You know what I mean? Which is, like, I think that's why this is so cool. You guys brought me on, because I never really talk about, like, things like this. So, like, for real, thank you for having me. Like, it's been an honor. Like,
I'm glad that you came, man. It's an honor to be sitting here interviewing you right now.
Oh, I didn't even fucking mention Fit Radio in Atlanta. Sorry. Shout out Fit Radio, ladies. Don't get mad at me. Those bosses are awesome. Fit Radio, I just reached 1 million plays streaming on my account this year. So that's worldwide. That's people who are fucking with me around the world. So, you know, like, if my fat ass from Las Cruces, New Mexico can do this shit, there's nothing different from you, man. My rent's due on the 1st and so is yours. Like, we all live the same life. Like, we're all, you know, so believe in yourself and you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yes, sir, definitely, no doubt. So, closing out, man, tell the fans and tell the viewers, where can we reach you at?
Yeah, everything is, you can either go to my website, phattony.com, phat-tony.com, or you can hit me on my Instagram, at phattony138, phattony138, and that's the same with everything else, the Facebook, the Twitter, Snap. I'm usually on the gram more than everything, so.
Okay, talk about the SoundCloud.
Oh yeah,
Spotify.
SoundCloud, Spotify, everything is at phattony138. If you look in Spotify or Apple Music for Phat Tony, PHAT-TONY. And I did that because, like, shout out to like one of my favorite all-time producers ever, Terrius Nash, who's known as The Dream.
Yes, sir.
Like, The Dream had that little dash, like The Dream, and I always thought, like, that's the coolest motherfucker in the world. Like, to this day, like, shout out Dream, like, I think, like, he's one of the coolest people, like, ever, and I've always wanted to, like, meet him. But, like, so that's why I did it, like, Phat Tony, like, PHAT-TONY.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So when you're looking on Apple Music, when you're looking on Spotify, PHAT-TONY.
Okay, yes, indeed. Y'all look out for Phat Tony, man. If you haven't heard of him, you definitely will hear from him very, very soon. Shout out to Las Cruces, the whole state of New Mexico, the whole Southwest, Phat Tony, Lavish, DJ Sonic, El Gato, the New Mexicated scene. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Happy holidays to y'all. Phat Tony, man, thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. Like, this has been so dope. Like, for real, thank y'all. For real, good vibes, good vibes. Shout out to New Mexicated.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We out this bitch, man. Smoke one. Nigga right now.
Can we curse on the show?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. I was just making sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you know, some shows you have to like.
Freedom of speech, nigga.
Alright, so.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we just talking about? There was one where this bitch lost her wig and they're dancing. Yeah, they lost her wig and they were dancing around this bitch's wig, dog.
That's all, folks.